specialized products for the market, for that matter. And yes, if you want to trade on the South African market, still there are some stockbrokers, not very many, but they can still help you be able to purchase the stock. You can reach out to, for example, Standard Bank Group Uganda, because it has a subsidiary in South Africa, that is Standard Bank Group. And because it's part of Standard Bank Group, I mean, it's found in South Africa. So definitely you will be able to find help if you approach them and you want to buy stock in, for example, South Africa. But of course, this will require a little more information on your side as an investor. And you might also be a little bit more careful because these are very, very active markets that change much more rapidly than our own markets here in Uganda, here in East Africa as a whole. Now let's move into our top stories. Of course, suffering with inflation and various other problems economically, we are seeing that the shilling is still one that is affected by so many of these factors here in East Africa. And we can say that the shillings declined by over 6%. That is looking at yesterday and the other day. The shillings has been weakening against currencies like the United States dollars, according to Citibank. Now, Citibank says that an increase in the expenditure on fuel imports will weaken the shillings due to the growing demand for dollars to meet the import needs. Citibank has said that this increased expenditure on the imports and the surge in interest rates is expected to impact Uganda's balance of trade. Speaking in an interview last week, Mr. Mark Smith, the Citibank head of Treasury and Trade Solutions for Europe, Middle East and Africa managing director, said that an increase in expenditure on the fuel imports will weaken the shillings due to the growing demand for dollars to meet the import needs. Now, therefore, he said in the next 12 to 24 months, the balance of payment for net commodity importers, including Uganda, will be volatile because of an increase in the fuel, energy, and food prices. He also commented that they expect Uganda and other African countries to experience volatilities in the balance of payments, and of course noting that this will be compounded by the recent expected rise in the U.S. federal government interest rates, which have so far increased by 0.75%. The Federal Reserve, he said, again expected to raise the interest rate by 0.75% points as it seeks to control the United States inflation, which has risen to 9.1%, the highest rate in more than 40 years. This increase impacts both exchange rates as offshore investors in government treasury instruments exit countries such as Uganda, and subsequent effect thereafter on the balance of trade for developing countries. In June, the Bank of Uganda said the current account deficit had widened by 8.6% in the 12 months to April, largely reflecting the bulge in the trade deficit. And the services deficit, however, moderated and rendered some support to the current account due to the rebound in the tourism industry, export receipts, and a decline in the payments of other business services. The central bank noted, however, that the widening of trade deficit reflected deteriorating terms of trade, and we're seeing that it worsened by over 17.7% on an average during the 12 months of from April to a surge, due to a surge in the prices of imports, which had largely surpassed that of exports. Bank of Uganda further indicated that the value of goods imported had contracted by 3.5% as the price effects were marginally dominated by a 12.1% and a 31% contraction in the volume of oil and non-oil imports respectively, resulting from a slowdown in domestic demand. The current account deficit is expected to deteriorate, driven by the surge in oil prices and non-oil commodity prices, which is expected to result into a wide trade deficit, according to Bank of Uganda in June. Definitely, that's a story we'll be following up there on the shilling against the dollar and the shilling against other European currencies. You're looking at the euro, you're looking at the pound, that the shilling is weakening way beyond the other currencies, because definitely of the issues we are facing right now. We have to import a lot of fuel at very high prices using dollars, and so we're seeing that we are buying a lot of the dollars with our currency, which gives the dollar the edge. It gives it the edge and makes it stronger, and every time we import with the dollar, we are weakening our currency, because this results into putting the other currency on demand on the entire global market. Of course, we shall be following up with that story, more of that story later on, as we also watch how other currencies play out in the foreign world, apart from Uganda and other global markets. Now, Djibouti Best Bank has acquired Top Finance. Now, in a notice on Monday, Bank of Uganda noted that Salam African Bank, which with headquarters in Djibouti, had acquired Top Finance Bank. That is following conclusions of the negotiations as provided for under the Financial Services Act 2004. Bank of Uganda has noted that a Djibouti-based bank has completed the acquisition of Top Finance Bank. And in a notice on Monday, Bank of Uganda noted that Salam African Bank, with headquarters in Djibouti, had acquired Top Finance Bank following the conclusions of their negotiations. The Top Finance Bank, a tier 2 credit institution, was founded in 2012 and later licensed by Bank of Uganda in 2014. The bank will be the second major sector movement in less than 3 months, following Afriland First Bank's voluntary exit in May, less than 3 years after it was licensed in 2019. Salam African Bank, which was established in 2007, also has a presence in Ethiopia through a representative office in Kenya through Salam Microfinance Bank and Salam Investment Bank. The acquisition comes amid a number of challenges and regulatory requirements in the banking, among which include a volatile and competitive market and an increase in the licensing fees. Well, in January, Bank of Uganda increased all the license fees for commercial banks, credit institutions, and microfinance deposit-taking institutions. And for instance, you can see that licensing fees for commercial banks were increased from over 2 million Ugandan shillings to over 50 million Ugandan shillings, while that of credit institutions was increased from 2 million to 30 million Ugandan shillings. Microfinance deposit-taking institutors are now required to pay 20 million for a license from 2 million shillings. Top Finance Bank has been struggling in a market that is dominated by Pride Microfinance and Finca Uganda. As of 2021, the top finance bank had 11.6 billion in assets, having experienced a 14.7% drop from 13.6 billion due to 36.5% drop in lending from 9.6 billion in 2020 to 6.1 billion in 2021. However, during the period, deposits grew by 3.3% from 12.1 billion to over 12.5 billion, which while losses reduced to 2.3 billion from 3.6 billion Ugandan shillings. That's of course Salam Bank there, which is taking over top finance bank after of course the institution was struggling with several losses here and there. This is the second bank to exit, like we have seen, and we are seeing that many banks are operating under very high pressures right now. And following the exit of Afriland, now we're seeing top finance as well leave the market. We are seeing high anticipation of course, very many financial institutions being affected, but it's being taken over at least by a very renowned bank there, Salam, and we hope for really the best when it comes to banking there with that bank, because we have 26 banks in Uganda at the moment and microfinance institutions, several of them, but we are seeing that many banks are exiting within this period. We have had two so far, Afriland and this top finance bank right now that we're seeing exiting because of the tough economic environment and the very high competition in the banking sector here in Uganda. Thank you very much for remaining with us. This is Financial Markets. You can always follow this show with our Smart24 TV channel on YouTube. That is at Smart24 TV Live. You can also go to our Twitter handle and follow us at Smart24 TV. As we wind up the week, of course, we have seen the markets play out and not so good. But like I said, these are all opportunities that are created by the stock market for people to be able to buy stock, to be able to trade stock, to be able to initiate, for their first-time accounts and be able to buy. It's not something really we should worry about, though, of course, the players in the market should also find a way of making the markets a little bit more balanced. If we have more people losing a lot of value, then definitely that's not a good thing as well. But I can say that there is nothing to really worry about. You can still trade and buy stock for yourself. Remember to open the SCD account. Is free of charge, absolutely entirely free of charge. You can simply dial *165# and then you choose option number 6, that is for financial services, and then choose option number 5, and that is for you get to your USE, and then you get to put in your details of your personal identification number. It doesn't matter if you're a foreigner. You can put your passport number, you can put your national identification number, and all these will be taken and get your details about your personal information, and they will give you this opportunity to be able to open yourself an SCD account. This is using your MTN line if you're an MTN subscriber. If you're not, you can visit www.use.org.ug and you can be able to go to Easy Portal. When you go to Easy Portal, they'll ask for a few details, a picture of your national identification card, a picture of yourself, and some little more personal information, and definitely you will be there and be able to open yourself an account. Don't forget also about the unit trusts. Yes, some people are investing via unit trusts. Not everyone is buying stock. Not everyone is able to buy bonds and bills. Unit trusts give you an opportunity as an investor to come together with other investors And through a fund manager, they are able to invest on your behalf huge amounts of money that are collected or pulled together from different sources, from different income earners, from different pockets. And when they put them together, they're able to invest them at once. And after this investment, you will have your money come with a return on a daily. This is the beauty of the unit trust. It gives you interest on a daily. Every single day, your money will increase in value. So you put in, for example, there are fund managers that are licensed, and there are not so many, about 6 of them. We have Zeno Investments, we have Britam Asset Managers, we have UAP Asset Managers, we also have ICEA Asset Managers, we have Genafric Asset Managers, we also have several other asset managers around Uganda that are licensed by Capital Markets Authority. There are not so many. So you look out for some of those. There's also Sanlam Investments. And these people will help you get yourself a unit trust. A unit trust is where you deposit money, you invest with other, the fund manager invests your money with these other people who are trying to invest also. And this money is going to get you a return at an interest on a daily basis. That is a new innovation, not very new, but something many people don't know about, and it's working so well for those who have actually been able to try it, and many people are gaining value for their money on those unit trusts or the so-called collective investment schemes. And of course, that is it from me today and from the team here at Smart24. Catch you tomorrow, same time, same place. Remember to stay with us. Up next is Fred Makuya. We shall be also going into UG to Kole, and then Skill Up, and a couple of other very great programs on business here at Smart24. Stay tuned and remain here with us. We'll be back tomorrow. See you. Bye.